What's up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel Girls Love Talk with Taylor Maree on YouTube. Okay, I just wanted to jump on here and talk about the R. Kelly situation. All right, we all, I'm pretty sure, are up to date with what his situation has been, from allegations to actual convictions. Man, I think he was already sentenced to like 30 years when it came to the New York cases. I want to say, please don't quote me. But I will say this. We also knew that he had the whole situation with Illinois. So let's get into it, y'all, because this is kind of like a breaking news. So it says Chicago prosecutor dropped sex abuse charges against R. Kelly. Cook County's state attorney Kim Fox told reporters that her office believes, quote unquote, justice has been served against Kelly, who has been convicted in federal court. Justice has been served, you say? Okay, anyway, let me keep going. R. Kelly arrives for a hearing on sexual abuse charges. Oh, okay. No, this is just a picture of him. Let me keep reading. Y'all know how these articles can be sometimes. So it says, an Illinois prosecutor dropped 10 charges of sex abuse against singer R. Kelly on Monday, today, saying at a news conference, the cost was one of the factors that weighed in on her decision. What cost? Okay, let me keep going. Kelly, whose real name is Robert Sylvester Kelly, is already serving a 30-year prison sentence on charges of federal racketeering and sex trafficking after being convicted in New York last year. He is also due to be sentenced in a second federal case in Chicago later this month. Cook County's state attorney Kim Fox told reporters that her office believes, quote unquote, justice has been served against Kelly with those two convictions. She noted her office's limited resources and court time, unquote, was the ultimate factor, noting that her office found the accusations to be credible. Quote, Mr. Kelly is looking at the possibility of never walking out of prison again, unquote, Fox said. Kelly is set to appear Tuesday in Cook County Court, which is tomorrow, where the charges will be formally dropped. The state has accused Kelly of sexually abusing 4 people, 3 of whom were minors. Fox announced the state's case against Kelly in 2019, saying the incidents occurred between May 1998 and January 2010. Kelly was facing 3 to 7 years in prison for each charge if convicted. The women in the case were only identified in the indictment by their initials, but multiple women have come forward with allegations against Kelly over the years. This is talking about the Lifetime and their docu-series. But Fox, she was one of the people, Kim Fox, she was one of the people who urged potential victims to come forward and speak with her office about possible criminal activity in the aftermath of the series. Okay? So, and then it said, Fox said Monday that she consulted with the women in the indictment before making the choice to drop the charges, acknowledging that some might be disappointed. You think? Quote, I know firsthand how difficult it is for you to tell your stories, unquote, Fox said. 4 years ago, I stood at this podium and shared my story of having been a survivor and my full understanding of what it means to have to go before strangers to discuss what it is arguably one of the most horrific experiences one could have. And these women, all of them Black, came forward believing that they would be heard. Now, Kelly is also facing state charges in Minnesota, where he's been accused of soliciting a minor for sexual purposes and engaging in prostitution. What the found that R. Kelly had set up a criminal enterprise that enabled him to recruit and transport underage girls for sex. Months later, in Chicago's federal court, he was convicted on 6 counts of sexual exploitation and enticement of a minor. He is scheduled to be sentenced on those charges on February 23rd. Kelly's attorneys have said he plans to appeal both of his federal convictions. Okay, and I will cite my source. This is being read from NBCnews.com, you guys. Okay, so let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it because, man, oh man, when I saw that, I said, I know you lying. I know you lying. I'm gonna just say this first and foremost to the victims. I'm sorry if you do feel any type of disappointment, because I can only imagine, just the type of disappointment or just all the emotions that could go through your mind and body, hearing and seeing stuff like that. And then they were notified, as I said, the attorney, Chicago's attorney, Kim Fox, she did speak to them prior to her deciding to drop the charges. So yeah, y'all, this is crazy. It's crazy because it's like, I think, let me just go back to the parts that really kind of had me like, wow. It was, for me, let me tell you what it was. It was her office, she noted her office's limited resources in court time was the ultimate factor. However, her office did find that the accusations were credible. That right there kind of blew me because it's like, I understand that cases definitely take a lot of money and definitely a lot of time, but it's like, damn, it just kind of gives, people on the outside looking in, especially like myself and even the victims and their families, that attitude of like, or mindset of like, so you're telling me that because y'all got tired of going through this, the court cases and whatnot, and that, now they didn't say money, but they said limited resources. So I'm just, what are we talking about? Limited resources. It's just, I don't know, maybe lack of evidence. Like, I'm just trying to figure out what that means. So I just thought that was crazy. And then it was the fact that she said that she does believe justice has been served. Now, I know that's her opinion. However, I don't really know if I would have necessarily said that, being who she is, because it's just like, that can be really triggering for all of the victims of, his crimes. It really can be, because I mean, let's look at the situation with Dahmer and all of the people, who are victims of him, not to mention people who probably their remains or whatnot weren't even found or whatnot. I'm not comparing the two because obviously R. Kelly has not, deleted anybody, but I'm just saying, like, they made sure to charge Dahmer for, I believe, all of his victims. Okay, so it's just kind of like, dang, I don't know. I can just only imagine what some of those women are feeling, especially the ones who, it's just all of them. But I'm feeling like they were thinking like, okay, this is kind of an overkill anyway, because the man didn't already been charged, sentenced to 30 years in, for his New York case. Then on top of that, he still has other counts of things that he has to be charged for still in Chicago, which is, they said, is going to be going on later on in the month of February. And then on top of that, his Minnesota case. So I think maybe they were, looking at things like, this is kind of overkill. Is it really necessary for us to go through this? Plus, we're limited on resources, whatever that means. And so I'm just wondering, like, well, I don't even gotta wonder. I don't think we necessarily have to wonder how the victims may feel. I can assure you that R. Kelly is probably looking at this as like, yeah, 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 not necessarily a win, but just like, okay, whew, wipe the sweat off my forehead and let me keep fighting. Because as y'all heard me say at the end of that article, they are planning on appealing, appealing both, situations, and I'm just like, all right, Mr. Kelly. All right. You keep on fighting the good fight, I suppose. But yeah, this is wild. What's the other part that blew me? Let me see. What was the other part that blew me? I think the other part that blew me really was how it was nice that you talked to the victims, but it was just like you kind of, what can I say? Like you used relatability when it came to them, like how you got up there, you shared how, oh, I'm a victim as well, and I'm sorry to hear that. First and foremost, um, nobody should ever have to experience any of the things that a lot of people out here be experiencing. Um, so I'll say that, but it's like Kim Fox, you sit up there and talked about them with that, and shared how you went through it before too, and how you understand that they came forward, believing that they will be heard. I just don't necessarily see how that really helps them. You know what I mean? Like I get it. You're trying to show them that you understand everything that they may be feeling, but it's just like, and that didn't really help too much for me. And again, last but not least, for me, it was also the we believe justice has been served. So I just feel like that's kind of a wild thing to say, considering the fact that you know he's done. He's done a lot. A lot of people came forward saying things about him, so it just kind of feels like a we don't got time for this type of vibe that is giving me. So this is just again, for R. Kelly, he's probably looking at it like, okay, ooh, wipe the sweat off my forehead, keep pushing and keep fighting, and hope. I know he got to be hoping, him and his team hoping that hopefully the same thing can happen with the other stuff that he has up against him. But I doubt it, because this is the first time, I don't know about y'all, but this is my first time hearing something like this, like people deciding to make a decision like that, to drop something as serious as that over limited resources, and basically them just being kind of tired of going through the motions of it. Like it's kind of crazy. And especially since you guys found the accusations to be credible, like I can only imagine again how those victims may be feeling right now. But we will keep our eyes and ears open to what else takes place. Now, what was they saying about what's supposed to be going on tomorrow? So tomorrow is when he's supposed to appear in court, in the Cook County Court, and that's where the charges will actually, then be dropped. And it's just like, all right, and the saga continues. It's a mess, yeah. This whole thing has been a mess, but I just thought that was wild to say justice has been served when honestly, when people do monstrous things like this, to me it's like ain't no such thing as overkill. You ain't no such thing as that. Okay, he's responsible for a lot of people's pain. So I don't know what it is, y'all. If you ask me, these days, I ain't even gonna fully get into it, but these days it just really, really, I can't be the only one who thinks this. It really, really feels as if though people who do some of the most horriblest things, yes, I made up horriblest, they are really getting away with stuff more. Like it just really feel like that people are out here blanking people, and not really serving a whole lot of time for it, or really having, being able to walk the streets again. Now, in his case, will he probably be walking the streets again? Not likely, because he already got them 30 years plus whatever else is to come. But it's still just, again, we got to think about those who are truly first affected by it more than anything. And so, y'all will have to let me know what y'all think about this below in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Please make sure that those notifications are turned on so that you can be aware of whenever a new upload comes from me. And yeah, just let me know what y'all think about this crazy new update that we got with R. Kelly. And I'm sure more will be coming out tomorrow. So yeah, I'll keep y'all updated on that if there's anything even to report. But again, make sure that y'all let me know how y'all feel about this below, and I will talk to y'all later on the next video. Bye.